unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxing Ego Unpacked. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Tyson Fury new trainer Ben Davison says that Tyson Fury may have overtrained in his last fight with Otto, Wallin. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chat channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. If you would like to sign up for ESPN Plus, sign up below. The link is in the description box of all my videos, and it helps the channel. I am an affiliate. Tyson Fury's new trainer, his newest trainer, Ben Davison, did an interview, and the link is in the description. He had some interesting things to say. I'm going to read a direct quote. He says Tyson Fury overtrained and strayed away from the course, and he, basically attributes that to some of why Tyson Fury looked like that. Quote, potentially Tyson Fury, he overtrained because even when he's not with me, he's constantly training. So I have tried to encourage him to have a little bit of rest, but it's hard to do as well because for his mental state, he trains. So even when I'm not giving, or even when I'm giving him advice to have a bit of time off, it affects him mentally. So we have to take a look at that and find the balance for sure. Tyson Fury, he came in slightly lighter than anticipated, but what I will say is by the time he got in the ring, he would have been a lot heavier than he weighed on the scales. That's for sure. I'm always looking at areas we can improve, and there were a couple of things in the last couple of days that I wasn't too happy with in terms of the final stages of preparation. Just straying off the nutrition plan a little bit. When you eat foreign foods that your body has not eaten for 4, 5, 6 weeks, it doesn't sit well with your gut. There were a couple of changes. He strayed off the plan a couple of times after he'd weighed in, even just before he weighed in as well. I do feel like, well, I know whatever he may say, that he wasn't feeling himself 100%. But it's all part of it. It's all part of learning, all lessons for the future. Now, I can appreciate Ben Davison giving an honest assessment. However, maybe too honest, because he revealed some stuff that nobody really knew about, probably would have known about. And to me, that's not a good look. And it really sounds like excuses. Let's jump right into it. Make sure you smash the like button. This sounds like excuses. The bottom line is, the criticism that Tyson Fury is receiving now. It wasn't his best work. His own father came out and says, man, I've never seen my son that bad. He needs to dump Ben Davison and his current team, and they really need to have a look in the mirror, because at this rate, he's gonna mess up his career. His father, John Fury, right, also went on to say, on top of saying he needs to, ditch his team, his new team, or otherwise it's not gonna end well. He says that my son, I haven't seen him this bad, and if he were in there with a more credible, experienced foe like Deontay Wilder or Andy Ruiz, he would have for sure lost. He says the form that Tyson Fury was in was not even good enough to probably beat an Alexander Povetkin. This is all Tyson Fury's own father saying this. I will say this, Boxing Ego, me, Ego, new media, this has been a phenomenal year for us. Once again, you guys see all this stuff comes to light. I'll be on the front line with all these issues, telling you these things, showing you like these little pickups and little observations before they become, really anything. When it's just a spark or an idea, and then when they become full-blown, 4-alarm fires, you guys see it. I've said the same thing. This type of talk and excuses being made and Tyson Fury straight off, this ensures I was already picking Wilder to begin with before, for the rematch. I was already picking him thinking he would be the victor versus Tyson Fury in the rematch before the Otto Wallin fight. Then I watched the Otto Wallin fight, and then I was like, okay, I feel even more confident in my pick because we'll get to the because in a little bit. But I was even more content. Now with his new trainer saying what he's saying, he was not happy towards the tail end. Tyson Fury disciplined himself for 4 to 5, 8 weeks or whatever for his training camp and was on a nutrition plan. And then he, right before the fight, decided to start I don't even know what he was eating. I mean, because he didn't really specify, but he basically said you're eating foreign things that you haven't been used to. So what the fuck could Tyson Fury have been eating that would have been so bad? Like, unless he really started binge eating. The quote, when you eat foreign foods that your body has not eaten for 4, 5, 6 weeks, it doesn't sit well with your gut. And I actually know what he's referring to, because there's been times where I've eaten real clean and then you go to, somewhere that has junk food, greasy junk food, and then it doesn't necessarily, it's not what you remember when you were, eating nothing but junk food. So there's a bit of validity to what he's saying, but it just makes me wonder, how much did he stray off of course? And the fact that he's admitting this shows a lack of discipline, if that's the case. How do you, and did they underestimate Otto Wallin? See, this is what I'm saying. Remember I said on my channel, I said maybe that ESPN money and the red carpet treatment, despite what Tyson Fury was saying, maybe it sounds like he started feeling himself too much. Now this sounds like basically Anthony Joshua 2.0, because you have to look at it. Tyson Fury was trolling every heavyweight. Andy Ruiz, he called him a fat little fucker. He said Dillian White's a bum and he used to whoop him in sparring. He taunted Joshua for the Ruiz loss, said you lost to a fat guy. He says that if you lose the rematch to Ruiz, you should hang it up and retire. He says that Wilder's a bum licker and arse licker, shithouse dosa, and all this extra shit, right? And he's come at all the heavyweights, spending time doing that, doing TMZ interviews. Meanwhile, ESPN is allegedly giving him up to $108 million, praising him. You got people like Tim Bradley, who's nonstop saying he's like the greatest heavyweight, and Terrence Crawford. And they're giving him this pure red carpet treatment. And it sounds like maybe it got to him. Why would you? It's how can you not say at this point, with his own trainer and the performance we all witnessed, right? How could you say he didn't underestimate Otto Wallin? If you had a good training camp, and then see, it's all over the place. 1 minute you overtrain, then you strayed away from the game plan. It's just like too many excuses for me. It just, for an elite level fighter, that behavior doesn't seem stable. And I told you guys, Tyson Fury's attitude, behavior, the statements he makes, and 1 minute he says Wilder's, clout chasing, and I'm not talking about Wilder. I'm not signed to fight him. He's lying. Then he says he's signed to fight Wilder when he wants to say it. Then he'll start saying he has a date in February to fight Wilder. Contracts are signed. Then he'll say in another interview that he's not interested in Wilder at all. He's not worried about Wilder. He's not thinking about or doesn't care Wilder. This is erratic behavior from Tyson Fury. So now you overtrained, according to your own trainer. You overtrained, and then the days before the fight, you're binge eating or eating foreign foods, whatever the fuck that means, that wasn't previously part of your nutritional plan. Like, you got to listen to what people say. I listen to the actual words people say, right? And the excuses sound all over the place. He says, like, even when he's away from me, he's training, like he's manic or something. Like he can't stop training. You have to rest and recover. Rest and recovery, R&R, is definitely a part of any kind of physical regimen or routine. You have to give your body time to relax and recover and repair its muscles and muscle tissue and stuff like that. So to me, it sounds like Tyson Fury still has maybe some of the demons or the partying. So he has to, I don't know, has to keep himself busy so he doesn't do that. He has to take his mind on it. I don't know. Maybe he's like ADHD or something, like where he has to constantly be into something. I'm not sure. I don't know him on a personal level, but listen to what Ben Davison said. He says that he wasn't too happy with the final stages of preparation. Tyson was just straying off of the nutrition plan a little bit. When you eat foreign foods that your body has not eaten for 4, 5, 6 weeks, it doesn't sit well with the gut. There was a couple of changes. Tyson strayed off of the plan a couple of times after he'd weighed in, even just before he weighed in as well. So first of all, I don't even see I don't know what he could have strayed off with after the weigh-in, because after the weigh-in, you've already made weight. So what did he do? You're supposed to replenish, get some pasta, get some carbs. So that sounds weird. It just, now everybody was making a big deal of Tyson Fury having a new trainer and how young he is. It sounds like they're inexperienced together. It really does, because it doesn't sound like they have a formula. Like Virgil Hunter, I've been around different gyms and stuff, and Virgil Hunter and Andre Ward, they kind of have an understanding, you know what I'm saying? A game plan of what's to go on and stuff like that. This seems like pretty chaotic. He says he strayed off the plan a couple of times after he'd weighed in, and even just before he weighed in. So why would you train hard, train your ass off for 8-9 weeks and stray? I know it's a heavyweight division, so you don't have to really weigh in at a certain number, right? Just listen to what people say. So you don't have to weigh a particular number, but why would you stray away from the plan before the weigh-in and after the weigh-in? And how do you stray away from the plan after the weigh-in when you've already made the weight and the fight's on, and you got to fight in the heavyweight division? What did he do? It leaves you wondering, what did he eat, or was he drinking alcohol? What was he doing to the point where you say he strayed away from the game plan and nutritional plan after the weigh-in? That's weird, unless he went out drinking or something the day before his fight. I don't know. I don't really know what that means. Somebody would have to ask Ben Davison for that, but either way, it doesn't sound good. You get what I'm saying? Also, listen to what he said. He said Tyson Fury potentially overtrained, and he also said that Tyson Fury, quote, he came in slightly lighter than anticipated. But what I will say is this. So in one angle, you said he overtrained and he came in lighter than expected. But in the same interview, you said he strayed away from the plan nutritionally. So he was eating junk or eating foreign foods, whatever that is, basically derived from the game plan, the nutritional plan. He was, on his job. And then right before the weigh-in, you said he strayed away. So how did he come in slightly lighter than you anticipated if he was deriving from the game plan before the weigh-in and after the weigh-in? You get what I'm saying? So to me, it just sounds like an excuse, and it sounds all over the place. He was overtraining. He came in lighter than anticipated. But then you're saying he went away from the game plan and was eating bad food or drinking or whatever this foreign food thing means. It just doesn't sound like the team is together. I don't know if they're, people are along for the ride or whatever. And the other thing that is, to me, is questionable is how did what weight was Tyson Fury supposed to be at? Because in his fight with Otto Wallin, Ben Davison saying he strayed away, but he came in light some kind of way. He weighed 254.5. In his fight with Deontay Wilder, he weighed 256.5. So and then the only fight he had in between that was Tom Schwartz. So Ben Davison is saying he came in too light at 254.5, but that was only 2 pounds less than what he came in versus Wilder. That was right. To me, that's very close. He's a heavyweight, so 2 pounds ain't shit. I would be in the heavyweight division based on my height and how much I weigh. So I could fluctuate 8 to 12 pounds overnight, depending on the night and shit like that. So 2 pounds isn't really even that much, and you have to keep in mind, he fought Francisco Pianeta at 258. And when he fought Klitschko, he was 247. So to me, this is really in line with where Tyson Fury has fought. Tyson Fury's been in the 245s to 250s, and he's been higher than that at times. So it's not really. I just don't. It doesn't seem like the team has it all together, outlined. You're saying he was too light, but he was only 2 pounds away. That's why it sounds like an excuse for the performance being as bad as it was. You know, he was 2 pounds different from the Wilder fight. So, and the other part that sounds like an excuse is Tyson Fury literally said, "Oh, I'm gonna knock Deontay Wilder in the rematch. I'm gonna knock him spark out." And he said he's gonna knock him spark out. He says, "I'm punching harder than I ever have. My weight is better. Deontay Wilder got me, on the backside of a 3-year hiatus and 2 tune-ups, but now my weight is so great." Now his team, sounds like it's in discord. Your trainer says you strayed away from the game plan, but somehow came in too light. Coming in too light is only 2 pounds away from what you did in the Wilder fight. But Tyson Fury, what he told the public is that his weight is better than it's been, and he's feeling better and looking better, and he's feeling stronger. And it's just like this is reminiscent to Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua. When one team starts saying a variety of different things and it's all documented through videos and articles and interviews, it becomes hard to believe when it's all over the place. And that's what's happening here. So there's a lot of people that have questions about Ben Davison, including Fury's own father, being up for the job. Me, I don't care. It's not my career. I'm just a boxing fan, and I give you my take on it, my spin on what I see. So Tyson Fury could train with whoever he wants, but to me, it doesn't seem that good. It doesn't seem like, what I mean by it seem good, it doesn't seem like they're on the same accord, and it really makes me wonder, your trainer saying Tyson, he bothered you leading up to this fight because he went away from the game plan before and after the weigh-in. That sounds like discipline issues. I'm definitely picking Wilder because Tyson Fury, this has been his career. I thought he battled mental health illness and, lost all this weight and he was in better shape. It seems like some of the same, like, old habits die hard. And it seems like he's probably doing, from the way I interpret this, it sounds like some of his old habits are still there. Like, he did an interview with Michelle Joy Phelps, like a Q&A session or something, and he was drinking a beer, So it sounds like his lifestyle has not all the way chilled with the full true discipline of being a heavyweight professional. I just seen an interview with Regis Prograis, and he was talking about Adrien Broner. He's like, "Man, I fight Broner." And he said, "I seen Adrien Broner, he was drinking 1738 or some shit." He said, "I don't really know what he was drinking. I don't drink." So he said that he made that clear. He said Broner was drinking something, I don't really know all that about liquor and like alcohol because I don't drink myself. And listen, I don't care. Fighters can drink, not drink. It's up to them. But when you have vices that have kept you and cost you belts and stuff like Tyson Fury, it's probably best to stay away from it so you don't slip into a pattern. So I don't hear about Wilder's team in Discord. I think Wilder learned from the first fight. I'm picking him in the second fight. We Unpacked, coming to you live. It just seems like the bet that I would rather take. The other thing is Otto Wallin fight was way harder than it needed to be against a guy who had never proven to be above a C+ level. No disrespect to Otto Wallin, but based on his resume and past accomplishments leading up to the fight, there was nothing on paper that suggested that he was ready for the moment. And then he commanded the moment and made Tyson Fury look oh so vulnerable, open a punch open a cut, and at the end of the day, Tyson Fury just didn't look good. His own father's saying it. New media's been saying it. There's nothing that old media could do or say to change it. And, all the people, ESPN, Ring Magazine, all the people, they rated. This shows you the race in boxing. All these people rated Tyson Fury #1 and were hoping and put all of their eggs in the basket of Tyson Fury being the best heavyweight. And to me, Tyson Fury, he seems a bit unstable. He seems like an unstable pick. You get what I'm saying? Like he seems to want to do whatever he wants to do when he wants to do it, which is cool. But for me, I can't pick with that. I have to go with someone who's more disciplined. So if Floyd Mayweather, I know from, tons of people that spar with Floyd, been around Floyd, I know he's disciplined. I know his work ethic, So if he's fighting anybody that has a known to slack off or drink and stuff, I'm not picking that other person. I'm picking the guy with the discipline. Similarly, Andre Ward versus Sergey Kovalev. I live in the Bay, been to Ward's gym. He knows me. I know him. Great guy. I know Ward. That's why I picked him in both Kovalev fights. I am not picking the person like Kovalev with all these rumors swirling and love you hit a bitch and kicked her dog and getting kicked off planes and drinking alcohol and being in drunk stupors and drinking vodka. I'm not picking that person over the more disciplined person who I don't really have that intel on. So to me, for Tyson Fury, I cannot pick him over Wilder. He has scar tissue now. He's gonna have to show me that. He's gonna have to outbox Wilder. I don't see him knocking out Wilder, so he would have to outbox him. I think it's Wilder's time. Wilder definitely carries the momentum if he can get past Luis Ortiz in good fashion without getting hurt or banged up himself. So he has time to rest before February. But Tyson Fury, he seems like a loose cannon. That's point blank period. Seems like a loose cannon, and I can't trust that intentions. Your own trainer saying before, for whatever reason, that shows me a level of disrespect to Otto Wallin. Your team picked him, and they're saying that you basically slept on him because you broke away from the game plan. So I don't like that. I don't like that. I like humility, and that to me shows like a level of pompous and arrogance in the heavyweight division that you think you're just so raw or so good that nobody can fuck with you. And then that's why this is literally everything that Tyson Fury mocked Joshua for. He made the same mistake. He was like, oh yeah, Joshua, you lost to a fat guy and stuff. Well, you lost to an unknown guy. He's not in no crazy, shape. He's not in no looking like Rambo, and nobody knew who he was. At least we knew who Andy Ruiz was. He fought for a title. Otto Wallin didn't fight for a title. So even Joshua's situation, to me, looks better than Tyson Fury, because Joshua, to his credit, he lost. He didn't look good in the fight, and that's the only difference between Tyson Fury. I think Tyson Fury, he showed more heart and went for broke more versus Otto Wallin. But the contrast is this: Joshua, at the very least, he only had 5 weeks to train for that opponent, and that was a total switch to who he was supposed to fight, which is Gerald Miller. Tyson Fury had a full camp. He knew full well who he was going to be fighting, so he could have trained specifically for him, followed the nutritional plan with no interruptions, no road bumps or hiccups, and he still looked like he looked, So to me, it looks like he underestimated him, and his trainer's testimony and admission proves that to me. We Unpacked coming to you live. I gotta pick Wilder. I gotta pick him in the rematch. It just don't sound like the partnership is really gelled, like Ben Davison and Tyson Fury. It doesn't seem like they both know what's going on. How do you not control Tyson Fury's eating? Again, I know trainers, and I'm not gonna throw nobody on the bus, but I know trainers, if you disrespect them, they'll leave you before you have a chance to leave them. Like, if you're not following and listening, they'll be like, get out of my gym. Like, you're doing your own thing anyway. So, maybe that's an inexperience from Ben Davison or whatever, him being so young. He hasn't had unruly loose cannon type fighters like Tyson Fury. So, who's 7 feet tall almost, so maybe you don't want to put Tyson Fury in check. Like, oh, you got to do this. Nobody really knew who Ben Davison was like that until Tyson Fury, paired up with him. And, it was kind of out of left field. I don't even know to this day. I'm not really even sure how the pairing came about. So, to me, this is not a good sign. It's definitely not good for old media to hear these type of concerns. Excuses being made. Oh, he overtrained for. See, this is what I'm saying. It's nonstop excuses we're hearing from Fury and his team. Now he overtrained. Now he didn't follow the nutritional plan. Now he came in too light. Now it was the cuts. That's why he looked like that. Now it's because Otto Wallin was a southpaw. We've already been down this road. When he fought Wilder, he said, my weight wasn't good. I was coming off of 2 tune-ups and a long layoff, so my weight wasn't good. I wasn't at my best. I didn't weigh in what I wanted to weigh in at. I was just getting back, blah, 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 and had all these excuses for why the Deontay Wilder fight was a draw. Now, You say your weight's good. You say you're stronger than ever. You're punching harder than ever. You feel great. You look like you're in good shape. And then there's still more excuses. Oh, it was the cuts. It was this. You know, so it doesn't look good to me. We unpack. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.